W Mafia, JP here with Big Joe. You can't really see me. We got some people in studio. The lovely Alina, sorry. And with one and only, someone that a lot of you guys have been asking for, Ses Carney.
Hello.
So for those guys are sort of like a traveling roadshow. I don't want to say Carney, but
well,
practitioners of torture.
Pretty much. No, I mean that is what we do. It's very carnival-esque. Travel around, perform. It's just like any traveling side.
The fact, first of all, that you're wearing a Michael Myers shirt, you're wearing a Jason Voorhees shirt. You guys brought a whole bunch of knives. I'm stuck in a corner and I have nowhere to go.
You got
pretty steady to hold a knife.
Do your
the movie guy voice. In a world where one man are going to perform a feat beyond imagination.
Okay.
So I want to do a little fair this year.
Mm-hmm.
And King Richard's Fair was awesome. They actually took really good care of us. On.
Yep.
And so you throw a lot of knives.
No, I don't.
No. At another woman.
No. Knife at anyone.
Oh.
I'm around her.
Okay.
One is entertainment and one's a felony.
That's very true. I have questions for you, obviously. But for you, perfectly still up there and not flinch at all, because I'm sure he's a awesome aim.
I try.
But how do you not flinch and not move?
When we train, it's just explain.
She's put it to me in the past. You just kind of do it.
Okay.
You just kind of muster up your bravery, and it's a little shy on the microphone sometimes. She says you gotta be brave and you gotta trust me, trust the partner. And it just takes a lot of guts.
No. Is it something someone else? Could you do it with someone else, or is it a bond between the two of you that makes it sort of work?
Knife throwing partners. I mean, I've had quite a few over the years that someone does for a little while and then moves on to something else.
They don't anymore.
Actually, the funny thing is, the only knife partners that I've ever had came back. They knew it was part of the job. It was a work care. They came right back to it.
Does Aflac cover that?
No, they don't.
I mean,
it's where they get hit and how hard and what part of the knife hits them.
Because you're like spinning too, from what I saw at King Richard's Fair. You completely can't see, which is insane.
Well, the way that we rehearse, there's the board where she stands every single time. And so I train has one of those life-size plastic skeletons screwed to it and going around the skeleton. Okay. And then I know if I hit the dummy, I've hit her. Position it right where she has to stand, but things happen. The wind just blew wrong or something, just as I throw and through time. If she's off her mark just a little bit, things could end different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch like a lot of the singing talent, and I watch like the Go Big Show now because they both have stuff. And I was on Bolt, and I forget his name, but he was shooting
See, I don't watch the shows, but
it was
that doesn't
so,
sound like much.
like, and obviously, like he had got to that level. He had, so he was something.
Things happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could.
and he tried to keep going afterwards, and to talk to us.
Like,
Right.
I get a hang. Never mind shoot myself with a crossbow.
He stubbed his toe once.
Hey,
Nice.
just sometimes the toe injuries affect.
It's insane to me, like, and I love it. Like, don't get me wrong, like we love that stuff, and I know you. We're gonna get into that with you because you were a part of a couple of key events.
Yeah.
With pro wrestling that
Yeah, I guess. Of recent current events.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sad, but and one of my favorite matches of all time.
Okay.
And the other one, he couldn't stand up.
Yeah.
You saw the top and the bottom.
Before we get into that, I want to bring up. I think there's a lot between what you guys do and pro wrestling,
There is.
where it's a scripted, go with the flow, and it happens sometimes that someone gets hurt,
And the risk is real.
and the risk is can be off your mark a little bit, like what just happened with Big E last week. He broke his neck.
Yeah, I saw
You
that.
know?
Yeah.
One move that was slightly off.
And that's all it takes sometimes. I mean, unfortunately, she has required stitches in the past, but she also knows that is it's law of human averages. I can't throw perfect 100% of the time. She can't be on her mark perfectly every single time. It's just things happen.
1,500 knives in a season.
Wow.
Yeah, so out of 1,500, slapped with a knife like once. But it depends again. Where
Do the fans realize it happened when it happened, or do you try to make? No,
she is like, I call her the Romanian rebel because she has got way more guts than I do.
There's a wrestler name.
She got tagged in the hip, and so nobody noticed the blood but me because I was close enough.
right.
And she just, the only thing she did was the tiniest little like little wince on the side of her. I'm just like, this woman is so bad.
Now, how hard is it for you when that happens? When you notice that?
I know that she's okay. I that she has gotten hit. I don't know to what extent. She hasn't given me any kind of like real Iggy look, that something serious is wrong. Okay, she got hit, but all things, she's fine. So, and I want to let the crowd see you panic.
Yeah.
Right.
The old show I used to that happened on stage, some of them almost life-threatening, and the crowd never knew. Or let them see you sweat.
Now, one of the people who commented on your post, LeBlanc, who said she's going to listen tonight.
Hello.
So I want to throw a shout out to Elisa, Johnny, and Johnny 5 because all along. But again, I told you, like me having friends that are fans of yours, and
Small connected world. You never realize how connected everybody is.
do you have people about this? And we both thought back in the day that you went like this, and the balloon blew up.
Like it would come out of the wall instead of going in.
Way to do that. We usually explain in the show how that works, so people know that.
Penn and Teller.
Basically,
Like
in a sense, I guess you could make that. You totally blow it out of the water and say, "Look, I don't want you to think that what we're doing is fake. Risks are real. She can get severely hurt."
Is that something? Years? Is that something that sort of evolved?
What?
That now it is more real because I feel it's not so much. Before it was like guys in suits that were doing it. You know what I mean? Like, and now it's more guys people that you see walking down the street that are the torture experts.
You mean like the modern day sideshow performers?
Yeah.
or-
Do you think it's evolved into the point where it was before, or was it? Do you think it always was?
I think it always was, just maybe presented a little. You know, how we present our show at a Renaissance fair is completely different than how we present in the carnival sideshow.
Okay.
Yeah, both are very
No.
linked.
Almost too, though.
I was one of. I did the human blockhead, putting the nail in my head.
Oh, man.
We let's see, what else did we
There's
do?
a-
Escape
there was-
acts. We did all kinds of stuff.
And he went by Gino Martino, and his real name is John something. He actually holds the world record for hammering the most nails with his head. They say he's got the
Okay.
hardest. He did that Stan Lee show, and they said his skull's twice as the normal skull. So
Well, they say everyone has a talent.
that's
No.
yeah.
Did your high school teacher money when they said that you would? This is what you'll be. Career day. You're gonna stick nails in your nose.
I didn't really get into this stuff until like right after high school, like right jumped into it. Before that, I had never even heard of a Renaissance fair. Or as a sideshow, the only thing I knew was the like world's smallest one we see at the carnival.
Or the burlesque
Yeah,
side of it.
yeah, I didn't know much at all about it. Then I discovered sideshow in my high school years, and
What crossed your mind to say, I'm gonna stick this 8-inch nail?
isn't the first thing I wanted to do. When I was 16 and I saw Gene Simmons breathe fire, and I said, I want to do something I want to learn how to do. And I found an old school carnival fire eater, and it just kind of went from there. So I started with doing
Do that.
the fire is still
I
part
got
of the
to see
show.
you do that at the like I said, Renaissance fair here. So
Yeah,
That's
and
a good one.
actually have some fun news. I haven't said it online yet or anything, but we're actually taking the show on the road. This we will be in Rigby, Ohio. Ohio. I said it again.
Ohio.
We're going to be in Rigby, Idaho for the East Idaho Renaissance Festival. But we will be presenting the show as the Double-Edged Daredevils. Branded the whole show. We still go by the Torture Show at King Richard's. The show has been there for so long. People know the show title. They know the name. And so, okay, we'll just keep it as that for this fair, and everywhere else we'll just use the new name. Basically, the same show, fire and then knives, and everybody has fun.
like you guys were one of the shows I had to see. Like it was I
Every
had
time.
to.
Fan favorite.
I
I'll get my
feel-
turkey leg and watch.
I've
Oh,
lived
God.
in Massachusetts for 47 years. And it was amazing.
Yeah, it's like because you got free tickets.
It was something like that. But
Well,
it
please.
was so like it was just it took you to a different world. It really
Here, this right here, because what we do is not real. I'm not real. It's all a fantasy. None of this is real. You walk through that gate and you're in a same world where anything is possible, anything can happen, usually does, and things like that. I love is we're creating memories.
Yes.
We're not just entertaining yourself that can say, oh man, I saw this and I did that. And well, you've got some memories.
I saw this guy breathing fire, throwing knives around a woman.
Around.
Like speaking to King Richard's, because that's basically the only fair I've ever been to. I will be at others. You said it's a fantasy. I 100% agree with that. Where it is, You get to the gate, you get out of your car, you walk it up, you think you're stopped before you even get in. And it's from there on in, it's nothing but experience.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're going to a show, going to a stage, watching the Mud Guys, the two guys that walk around with their tankards on their head.
Oh, the
Like
fans,
that-
the people that come.
I
like,
mean,
that's
Yeah.
I tell people if you want to have fun, you can time of your life playing off of the street characters at the fair, the stage characters. Sometimes are referred to as patrons. You know, they show up and
Okay.
cost a good time and live that fantasy, and that's great. Come do that. We love that.
It's
Yeah.
similar to cosplay.
Yeah.
But it's
and it
different.
doesn't
It's-
isolate them. It does. It's not like it doesn't sound at all like a derogatory term. The way some.
Oh, absolutely
You know.
not. Come on,
Yeah.
come play with us. Come
Yeah.
have some fun.
The difference I see is the cosplay, you're dressing up like this, it stops there. The
For
patron,
some reason,
you're
yeah.
becoming part of the show.
The
Yeah,
show,
you're
you're
playing
part of
that.
it.
You're in there. Well,
No.
besides the guys with the cups on their heads,
Yeah. How many
Cheers.
kings have you been through with King Richards?
3 or 4.
That's
It's been a few. King Richard the 10th, I believe, is the one who was the longest reigning, and he passed.
like it was right before COVID, I believe.
Yeah, and that was pretty sad because Tom guy.
Yeah.
But our new king Kirk, he is amazing. Kirk,
Do you call him captain by mistake sometimes?
no.
for people who don't know what the King Richard's Fair, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the King and Queen actually run the.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
festival,
In festival, yes.
Festival,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
but it's,
Going with this.
but it's
No,
actually
that's-
made up of many little shows.
Yeah. The king and queen are the overseers of Carvershire and the realm, and they have a storyline that they follow all day. The royal court and the villagers changes every year, which is a lot of fun for a lot of the patrons. Can come and play along and have some fun with it. Yes.
Listening to you, I do
Oh
this.
no, I thought you wanted to ask.
No, I
something.
do this when I'm really paying attention.
I was like, oh god, I'm
Okay.
boring him.
Kind of look creepy.
Ugh, yes, yeah. You got a cute dog too.
I'm
I
gonna
just
go,
made that weird.
when I go, I'm gonna dress him up like
Do it.
I'm gonna have to dress him like a dragon.
For those that are watching that don't, Great Dane doggo right
Oh,
over there.
he's been part of the show since I got him.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
Let's see. Bobby D, who's one of our regular listeners, wanted to know.
Yeah.
So Bobby is incredible.
Mhm.
Bobby's one of those guys that shows up before every wrestling show, and he's
Nice.
70 years old.
What?
Yeah,
So yeah.
That's pretty hardcore, Bobby.
like in the planes.
So if you do any tricks with wrestlers or with the audience,
By means like the
as far as like your stage
stunts. I don't usually. Sometimes I do a special thing for heads or brides to be or something like that. I have a little thing that I do in the show just for them, but otherwise no.
that's okay. And your friend
Heather
Heather
said,
said hello.
yeah.
Yep.
I want to say
think
hi to
that-
my wife Kathy and my daughter Molly too. If you guys are watching or listening.
Hi, Kathy and Molly.
Hello.
Thank you for letting us borrow them for an hour or so. How do you decide? I know you said did you walk into the fair and like, I want to be a part of this. What do I do? I'm going to learn how to swallow this fire.
I didn't even know about King Richard's Fair at the time. One of my friends told me about it, doing the fire stuff,
Okay.
and I just learned to do the fire. Didn't really have plans of doing a show or anything, but
So you learned how to like breathe fire.
Hey, Mom, look what I can do. How did that come out?
and it wasn't even really like a look what I wasn't like seeking out like that kind of attention.
I came home and was like, Mom, look, I got a tattoo. That goes over different than, hey.
Well, the thing is, I love fantasy stuff. Reality sucks. I mean, so I love fantasy, and to me, seeing real magic. This is like they're a fire breathing dragon. Yeah, and a lot of people nickname me that. My wife calls me that too.
Elisa LeBlanc,
That's only because you
gave a
changed.
shout out earlier, just said hi, so she's listening now. Elisa, we already
yeah, we already said hi. You're late. Sorry.
Next time we say hi.
So I don't think I'm exposing anything because when you're on stage, you clearly take a drink. Can I ask what it is?
It is actually a special mixture that I concocted. All very highly flammable, high flammers. Ooh, am I scaring you yet? It's just a mixture of different fuels.
What would happen if you actually swallowed that?
I do sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Imagine that
No, it's
about an hour after
actually.
the
Does it
show.
come out the other end on fire?
Oh, it's horrible. You're essentially, if you do swallow it, you're poisoning yourself.
Right.
So you tend to try your best. There are other preventative measures that can be taken that help, but nothing is foolproof.
Right.
I'm guessing the beard is a COVID beard, and that won't be part.
Actually, I always have a goatee in the show.
I do remember seeing it.
I shave the mustache.
It
The
just
goatee.
gets smaller during the season.
Yeah, I'll let this grow now. So then by the end, it's tiny
That's
again.
all
how I shave
singed.
everybody.
Yeah.
Have you ever caught fire by accident?
Like the trees or something.
Because
No.
clearly, I want to say, I know how our listeners are. This is all stuff that you should not try
Absolutely.
unless you're a trained professional.
Yeah, go to your grandmother's house. Yeah, no, don't try any of this stuff. We are trained professionals. 22 years, and no, I've never lit anything on fire and so I'm actually proud to say that too. Just under 6,000 shows
And it's not only
and
that,
never won.
Wow.
and you actually project the fire a decent amount, so that is saying something.
I mean, it can be anywhere from 10-foot flame to 25. It's something.
You are a little crazy.
No, not according to my last psych evaluation.
Really. It's different about me, and I don't do any of this stuff. So that's sort
No,
of...
but you would if you could. So
Oh.
No, I wouldn't.
before we get into the knife throwing or the looking at your
I'm
knife,
gonna say I'm not throwing.
I
knives
want to
in the
just pause for a second. We just lost ever.
Most charismatic.
Most
of all time.
charismatic. Like as a kid, I remember watching him. About Scott Hall, Razor Ramon.
Mhm.
As a kid, I remember watching him, and the term "good guy, bad guy" in wrestling was from him.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. And then this quote from the WrestleMania
Yeah.
is it speaks volumes.
Bad times don't last. Bad guys do.
Bad guys do.
But you were at...
Well, I saw him at a house show in the 90s. And he was at the top of his game, and he just came out there and he owned that ring, and everyone going crazy. But then flash forward some years later, I see him at this show where
Fall River. 30
Yeah,
for 30 did the special on.
yeah. I felt bad for him because it's like I had seen him. I know that that's where he was, and I felt so bad for him. But then when he's and you
That
know,
was the
start
show that
turning
started
everything
that.
around.
So
Yeah,
was that show started something good?
All-
exactly.
All good things come from bad things. Like I understand the demons of addiction. I'm 27 years sober. I have mental health
Nice.
issues. Like we talk about mental health here
Yeah.
very often. It's not a joke. I have, you know, those little letters that go
Right.
with mental health. I have them all, and it's tough too because once you get into choose your addiction, whether it's you're addicted to fire breathing or you're addicted to a drink or a drug, it's all the same addiction. It's just a,
Right.
you know, it's that same basic need for something more.
That's deep.
Well, it is, and
And
it when you break it down to the lowest thing, is to
Right.
break it down to the what is it the most that I have. I can't just eat one chocolate bar. I have to
Right.
get two, just because I know I'm going to want the other one.
Right.
Things like that. That's where this comes in.
See, I can't buy two because I'll eat them both now.
That no, and if I eat one and I don't have one for later, I have another one, then the anxiety kicks in. I want chocolate bar,
Gotcha.
and then that throws me in a spiral. So I know, just get two.
Right.
You know, I'm going to have a Pepsi. I'm going to sit down and have a Pepsi. I'm going to bring two with me. I know I'm going to have another one. And that's what brings me to the addiction, where it's like that. It's you have those dopamine fix,
Right.
and you're just going and going, and sometimes the slope is down.
And
Unfortunately.
it wasn't so, you know, and I'm sure it probably played a part in it. What he died of was like he had 3 heart attacks that were complications from a surgery.
That's what I had heard.
Yeah, it's but I mean, he definitely battled his demons.
But when he started turning his life around,
So,
I felt so happy for him. I just said, guy, and then this.
Yeah.
And this one hurt. Like
Yeah.
I never met him, never talked
It's
to
just
him.
everybody knows his story, and
Like I'm a fan. And there was no one more. It was him and Jake as far as charisma. Jake the Snake.
right.
And that was it. That was the top of the charisma. Like
And they were like the two that didn't need to yell at the camera to get the
Right.
point across.
he literally
and you
said,
listened.
"Hey yo," and it got him over for 20
Mhm.
years on pro wrestling.
And you follow him.
So
Look at the bad guys that followed in the business. Like that doesn't go back and copy him in one way or another.
Right.
Even Triple H, you know, the body movements, the shoulders, it
Yeah.
goes back to Razor Ramon.
Right.
and he got to play this.
Okay, now
Okay. What about my knives?
The
I was
point-
asked to bring my
Mhm.
throwing knife, and I'm not quite sure why, but I brought.
I'd like to hold one if I could.
Okay.
I want to break that. I want to break that.
Is there a waiver that needs
I
to be
want to break
signed
the
for this?
kayfabe of it. I want to prove that
Yeah.
they're real to me.
Oh yeah.
Because
No.
you always see, I always think like, oh, he's throwing it. It's going back in the sleeve. And it's
Dirty. I haven't gotten to clean these up.
The Irish Whip, Ses Carney, Double Edge. I'm responsible for what Joe does.
I haven't gotten to sharpen them or clean them up, so they're a little dirty. But
I just want all of them.
So
Ooh, they get some weight to them.
how often do those have to like rated for throwing?
no, they're just. Well, I mean,
But I
they,
mean
they were
balance. When I
designed
say
as very
weighted.
specific
No.
balance.
How often do those have to be like replaced?
These are real.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
I have never
Yeah.
replaced these. These
Okay.
knives are this year will be 20 years of knife throwing.
Oh,
Okay.
So for
Okay.
20 years I've had these knives. I've never had to
Wow.
replace them.
I would assume the balance and just in sharpening them and stuff, the balance.
These were made
Three
of
clicks, he's going the right foot.
these are made of 1095 high carbon steel, so they very, very well.
Okay.
Like for instance, this last season, King sharpened these at all or anything.
I saw you post on Facebook that
That was, I had bought a new set of knives. Thank you. Bought a new set to,
Can I throw in that JP?
if you throw.
Okay.
No, I had
I
bought a
would
new
rather
set of
him aim for
knives.
me. He doesn't have good aim.
Nice. There was a couple of new teens with knives, but they were going to require a very specifically balanced knife.
Okay.
Found a knife maker that made something similar to what I wanted, and I bought. Something was wrong with the heat treatment or something, because 2 out of 8 of the knives in practice.
And that means you can't trust the other
You
6.
Yeah, no, at a 25% failure rate, I can't. He completely understood that. He was very apologetic. He everything back. He would refund me immediately, which he did. He wanted to look at what went wrong in the heat treat. He
Wants
felt
to learn
terrible.
from it.
Yeah, no, and learn from it. And he felt was really impressed that he cared that much. You know, I
For
say,
a
hey,
custom.
and
My
so
friend Jeff couldn't make them. My friend Jeff couldn't make them.
no.
He makes some good axes and hatchets. And
Jeff does make some great things. If you're watching, Jeff,
Jeff, for those who don't know, is Jeff Ludy. We had him on here. Actually, it's him having been the leprechaun.
The Irish
yes,
leprechaun.
the Irish leprechaun.
Trained by Killer Kowalski.
He is, if you go to King Richard's Fair, I'm sure some of the other carnivals around, he is. See him.
He is the blacksmith at oh god, I can't believe I'm drawing.
Richards?
Yeah, King Richards,
Richards,
but the name of the booth. It's Forges down by the over near Hell's Mouth. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on this, Jeff.
Just know where the pickle guy is.
He's, Jeff is the coolest one to see in there.
I love Jeff. I've known him for a long, long time. He's awesome.
I mean, this circuit has to be pretty small.
See, I knew it.
Yeah.
Starfire.
And you can go and like that. As far as like everybody knows everybody, I would assume.
Kind of. Renaissance, I've noticed from working both, are a lot like a carnival, where it's big. There's many different fairs going on all the time, everywhere.
Right.
Somewhere in America, every single weekend, all year. Somewhere, most of the time. But it's a lot like carnivals, where people sometimes I see at other festivals or some haven't seen in years, and you run back into them because it's a big community, but it's a small circuit.
Now here's a question:
Yeah.
Can you speak Carney?
Wow, we're gonna go there on the show, huh? Maybe say Weasel.
See, I can't speak it that quick. I can say it and I can understand it. Carney language, and this is no secret,
I'm lost.
got evolved and got too.
Right.
And it was a way for them to communicate.
It was a great way for them to keep kayfabe,
Yes.
and they could talk about the people.
Years ago, there was a guy on SmackDown for one show only, and and it's a shame because he still teaches pro wrestling.
Are you gonna say Kizarni?
Yeah, I am. Sin.
Yeah, Sin.
Yes, Sin is a
Hey, Sin, if you're out there, hello.
Friend of the show.
Sin's a friend.
Yeah, Sin is very
I had him
good.
on multiple times. He's gonna
I
come
had
back.
said, knowing his background when he did the SmackDown vignettes with him, where it was like, all right, he's in the carnival, but he's throwing pop the balloons at the games. Where I thought they should have shown somebody throwing the darts. Vignette would be him standing there with the darts hitting his back, because that was one of his things back. Across more of what he did,
Yeah.
and sort of put him across as a tough guy instead of.
It would have been cool. I agree with that, but given the wrestling at that
Yeah.
time, I think people just
It
would have
was-
thought it was a trick.
The kinder,
Right.
gentler.
Yeah, they would magic trick for TV or something. And
Well, yeah,
Because he still does both.
oh yeah, no, he still does both. He's a hell. Yeah.
Well, and that at that time when he was there, that wasn't we got to bring it down for children.
Mm.
That was in
No.
the lower, softer.
Yeah. It was sort of the Attitude Era had just ended,
Yeah.
and it was going more
It was
PG. It was turning into a public traded company rather than
Yeah.
Right.
owned by. But how often now do you guys get to travel?
So traveling isn't something I've done a whole lot of the last few years, because when my dog decided not to go out on the road, because sometimes I was gone from the equipment.
Wow.
And when I was growing up, my father was a long haul trucker. So he was, and I mean, he did what he did for his family, and I know that he worked his ass off and everything, but times. So I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be home for I kind of stopped going on the road extensively, but I do little weekends here or there, like a festival, something like that. But now my she's 14. She is a very confident, independent young lady.
So
I'm very proud of her.
It's turned from when it's now daddy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mhm.
No.
So, we're going to East Idaho Renaissance Fair, taking the show on the road. Then might weekend stint at another fair, but I will know more about that in coming weeks.
But,
So yeah, we gotta
definitely let us know. Like, tag us on what you're doing, and we'll make sure we share.
Yeah.
How hard is it to travel with that little case right there?
I have my Burmese python.
Okay.
Okay.
That was a lot harder than a case of knives.
That's okay. Really?
Yes. An 18-foot did not like traveling across the country.
You don't want to put that in the overhead.
Yeah, I know. No, her name was Honey. She was an albino Burm. She was very sweet.
It's like
I got her when she was
growing up.
She was about 6 feet long. She was arrested to get her. Somebody had left her abandoned in an apartment. She was covered in heat rock in the cage, and I, got her vet care, got her good and healthy. She grew to 18 feet, and then I surrendered her actually educational traveling zoo for schools, because my daughter was born. Fed the snake were bigger than my daughter was.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going? I don't want. I know that's no.
Yeah.
I don't.
If the thought enters your head,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I said, no, snake's got to go. But apparently they're still using her in the show. Educated thousands and thousands of kids over the years, and that's awesome.
Because people like growing up, and my mother wanted a snake, and my father said no to it. But like, got to a point where I had a condo that had an extra bedroom, and I was going to leave the extra bedroom empty in there and just let it grow and see what I wanted to wind up with an 18-foot python. Is what I would have. And then my friends went through some stuff and needed a place to stay, so I lost the extra.
Smaller than the rabbit.
It was Joey.
No, snakes are great pets.
Yeah.
These are definitely not for a beginner snake person. They get very big very quick, and they can become dangerous very quickly. So if you're not really ready, people get like a ball python or a corn snake to start.
Oh, what fun is that?
Well, a beginner snake, because they're generally pretty docile. They don't mind being held, and anyway, so
so that is, like a snake's just such a powerful animal. And, and like I know 18 feet. When you think about it, 18 foot's probably that thick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she was about that
That's
round.
not that big, and to be that powerful.
That's 18 feet of this muscle.
Right, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
She only coiled on me a couple of times, but I can tell you, it was no fun.
No, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Now, how did you work?
I just did her as a kind of a snake handler, classic circus side. I would, like when I had her for Six Flags, out in, my God, where was it?
Agawam?
Wisconsin. No, forget the town name. What do they call it? Six Flags Chicago or something.
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
that
that
I don't. It was a while ago. I don't
One of
remember
the Six Flags.
Yeah, I would come out on stage with her just draped over my shoulders, and a lot of people thought that she was like until I would let go of her and she would just start moving, doing her thing. But it was really cold, and she started wrapping around me to get my body heat. And I'm trying to talk about the time she eats and how big she gets, and all of a sudden I'm like, assholes. And then one of the other performers like, Professor. He comes around, he's uncoiling her. Good times.
Now, what's the biggest crowd? You know what the biggest crowd? Because I know you, the in front of, aren't always controlled by you. They're controlled by sort of who's that. How you performed in front of us?
At King Richard's Fair?
In general.
Oh, in general? I probably was on the festival. I want to say it was probably somewhere around like 5,000 people. Something like that.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it was a big outdoor festival. It's a good time.
Now, how do you treat as opposed to the smaller shows where there might be 100, 150, 200 people?
No, everybody paid for the show and everybody's going to get the exact same show.
Yeah.
In all of the shows I've done, everybody.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't saying
Well,
that.
No, I'm just saying, but everybody performers would. They would be like, oh, it's a smaller crowd. It's going to be smaller, whatever. You know, and I'm not just does because they don't.
Right.
Everybody
No,
there is
they-
awesome. But I've met people elsewhere.
For those who, the Ses has traveled pretty much the country doing this. So
I've been almost everywhere in the country.
But he's done probably any rent.
I've been to casinos, theme parks, motorcycle festivals,
casino shows.
colleges, hey, you name it. Street performing.
You do like, man, I would assume metal festivals and stuff like that.
Many of those. In fact, I did my last sideshow performance, which is I used to do of hammering a nail in my face, putting fish hooks in my eyes, things like that. I don't do that. The normal stuff. I don't do that anymore. And the last time I did it was this past January at a metal fest. Yeah, Freak Fest. Yeah.
They're so much fun. I like metal shows, metal festivals.
Well, metal, the fans tend to be good people. They're just there to have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you might get one or two, punks in the crowd. That's anything. That's any crowd anywhere.
Elbow fixes that.
Yeah, but for the metal shows in the years, because people were just cool.
That's it. Yeah, and like-minded people.
Yeah,
Lots of like-minded people, and I don't know what you. But
everything and anything.
It really fits into that metal sort of thing. So I can only mind into a lot of what the metal,
Oh yeah,
genre would enjoy.
I don't think you Christina Aguilera songs.
I don't know. I did break over a guy's crotch with a sledgehammer to the song "Wrecking Ball."
What?
Well,
What? I don't even know what to say to that.
Well,
It's song.
let's just say that guy has balls.
Not anymore. Who approaches who with that idea? First of all,
show we said, "Hey, we got a great idea," and he's like, "Okay, down for it." He's like, "You know what you're doing."
How strong is the waiver for that? To cover yourself legally.
This is the insurance.
No, actually, I do have insurance. I carry $1 million liability insurance policy. I call it in. I've never had to use it, and knock on wood. Hopefully,
I would think that if it's not required, it's probably encouraged.
Nope.
To have the insurance when you go.
Yeah, no. When you work in the big live events, they usually want insurance.
Does each performer have to have their own?
It depends what they do.
Okay.
Anytime, yes,
Yeah.
you even if in the unlikely event that you require it, you still want to have it.
You know, you don't want that another nightclub going
Right.
by.
Yeah, no.
So Ses Carney is a responsible adult.
Or not, there is a method to the madness. I like to tell people they don't really know the times because everything I do on the show is calculated. Every move everything is very well calculated to get the most response that I can, have as much fun as possible. So over the years, I figured out, oh, they really like when I do this because I want people to leave there with nothing but positive memories.
Now, how do you, and Melissa Ryan says, hey, Ses.
Hey, Melissa Ryan.
Where did you two link up?
Well, somewhere. Actually, I needed a target person, and so I friends and that we had a lot of mutual friends and circles. A lot of people know each other, and I said, hey, I need somebody that is cool with it's stage persona, stage presence is not doesn't get. They have to be able to focus on what we're doing in the moment. And I got in touch, and the rest is history.
I know you're quiet. Like when you're up there, what are you watching? Are you watching him around him? Because I think I would try to look at everything but that. You know what I mean?
I never even thought of that.
The first 8 knives, the most horrified mother, and like just stare at them,
Okay.
and I don't. I think it's just like the joke of them getting all like you see the phone come out. It's funny, but I mean there is the video you took.
Your point of view, where I gave her my cell phone. This, and so I threw her around her while she was holding the phone.
You need to figure out how to make that a virtual and put that onto like an Oculus or something.
That would be kind of cool.
Watch it and just watch the people freak out.
That would be funny. I love when we're doing it. I don't hear the crowd most of the time because I'm trying to just
focus.
Yeah, what's going on. Like a cannon could probably go off and I wouldn't hear it. But when I see video clips that people post and I can hear their reactions, like in our new promo video, the reactions that you hear from the video, I couldn't hear that on stage.
Right.
I mean, first of all, the way the PA system, I hear myself. I can't hear the crowd. I have to just assume that they're having a good that gets a little rough.
Are you two able to communicate on stage, or is it just off of like your cues?
We basically have system. I don't want to give away all of our secrets, but we do have a system on stage to each other if we need to. And just so everyone is aware and everyone can do have a radio with us during the show that do EMS and security. So if there was ever anything, knock on wood, immediately if we need to. But we actually talk on stage. It's almost like wrestling, calling a spot.
So a few times I've gone in for like security things. I've had random stuff happen, like I get hit with a chair.
Oh, there you go.
You should tell me how you'll bang the knives as a way of communicating.
Yep. Give her certain cues. I'll bang the knives a certain amount of times. Tells her what, if the crowd seems into the jokes and they're think of a line that could be pretty funny, I'll tap the knives and she'll know when to throw them. He's going to stop and talk for a second. So this way she knows when it's coming.
Was that 3 or 4?
Right?
I just want to throw a shout out real quick we're a member of we're hosted by Spreaker, and we're a member of their Spreaker Prime environment.
Spreaker.
To Spreaker Prime, and where you can download us. One of the everywhere, obviously, the easiest way is on the Spreaker app. You can like, subscribe, comment, and see some of our interviews. Elena, sorry.
You're never ever gonna get that right.
No.
We could be friends
Tomorrow.
You'll
I'm
never
going to
get
get
it
it right tomorrow.
on the ride home. You're gonna be
That's
like,
all
what?
right. It's all right.
The free beer is tomorrow. So,
Well, I don't know. It's been a while since I've been at a bar.
now, when you're traveling,
Mhm.
crazy road stories
Oh God,
come up.
that's. I've got some stories and some.
Okay, we'll keep it.
Save him for the book.
He's telling me I should write a book, and
Why not?
because no one would ever believe it.
Well,
No one would ever.
She said,
my real that's your title. My real life of make believe.
well, when they buy the book, it comes with a DVD. If people have DVDs or a download code,
QR code.
yeah,
That's
where people can watch you doing it.
Oh.
pretty soon. Books are going to be.
One of those books where, like, you're reading it, and if you want Ses to stick needles in it, have it.
Oh God,
Oh.
pick your own destiny.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say a pop-up book, so you turn the page on at you.
That would be cool
fine.
too.
See, that goes in with the Oculus.
Yes. We're coming up. We've been almost an hour.
Okay.
I want to make sure we don't forget to tell people if they want to can find you guys online and stuff.
Okay. Well, if they want to go to our website, edged with a D, doubleedgeddaredevils.com. Book at Double Edged Daredevils. They
Hold
can,
on, can I
Yep.
cut you off? I think we're getting inside information here in our little from Facebook.
Oh
Okay.
God.
And somebody is. Ses does have books that he's written.
Oh God. Who said that?
Melissa Ryan.
Hi, Melissa Ryan. Book's out on Amazon right now, and I've got two others that are currently with my
So-
editor.
As you're plugging you off again, I promise. Make sure you plug those because
Okay.
I'll be purchasing.
I'm horrible with like promotion like this sometimes. It's Dead End Dorchester is the name of the book series so far. It's volumes 1 and done. Volume 1 is they're short stories and are like the horror horror-esque. And volume 2, like the family friendly book. Volume 2 is more like kind of like young adult. The stories might be a little much for kids. And volume 3 that I'm currently working on is going to be more just geared for adults.
And are they labeled as the author Ses Carney?
Yes.
Okay. So they should be-
SESCARNY. No E in Carney.
And Kayla McKeaney says she has both the Dead books.
Sweet.
Her old name is in volume 2.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
So,
I
now,
appreciate it.
that's cool. Like I had no idea, and that just popped up as you were talking, and we were talking about the books and stuff. But like honestly, like I think anybody that does what you do has an interesting story. I almost dropped one there.
Ah.
But has an interesting story that people are interested in. You know what I mean? Like not the road stories, the stage stories, because I'm sure the stage stories.
I've got many stories.
Right.
It's almost like if you're a fan of make believe,
And-
and I use that term loosely, make believe, like Once Upon a Time make believe. When you're a fan of getting lost in a fantasy, getting lost in the guy throwing knives is easy for me to do, because I look at you and I know King Richards has kind of primitive stages if you look just at that backdrops, and you can easily put yourself back in time to when that was normal thing in a town, and that happened every day, and they're still chasing dragons and there's knights, and you can go and bring yourself every step of the way. So if you're a fan of that, you're easy to write.
It's something.
And I mean, just the upbringing in the sort of the family life that brings you to the point of throwing knives around people.
Somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's entertainment.
Well, now it
It's,
brings me to another question. Have you ever had knives thrown around?
And I don't like it. I will openly admit it. I have been a target person. I've done it Foxy Whipper many times. We do a combo
like
show.
that.
We do the secret show at King Richard's Fair at 5:30. Secret show. It's a secret to everyone as to what's going to happen, including us.
Yeah.
It's a
when
very
you get
very
into the
unscripted
courtyard.
show. It's
Okay.
just it's a time where we come together and just have some fun and let loose, and whatever happens, happens.
and a lot of, I don't know about other Renaissance fairs, but a lot of King Richard's Fair, 99 of King Richard's Fair is very family friendly.
A lot.
I'd say rated G to PG. And you're more PG-13 to maybe R, but more PG-13.
I mean,
probably.
Renaissance fairs have a very long history of innuendo, double
Yes.
entendres,
Mhm.
things of that nature. And I've noticed that, there's been a cultural shift over the years. So things have kind of tamed down a little bit, I've noticed over the years. But it's just like a carnival. You got to have a little something for everybody. Is our show specifically geared towards little kids? No. There's a lot of jokes in there that are adult appropriate. Kids wouldn't get them, at least they shouldn't. But it's
Right.
PG-13 because what we're doing is very dangerous, and we don't want little kids going home and trying it. But we're more for the teenager and adult crowds. Whereas they have other shows that are just geared towards the little
Right.
kids, but the adults need something too,
Yeah.
and that's like the Mud Show, that's
Yeah.
very PG-13,
risque.
yeah, and that's more for the adults. You got to have a little bit of flavor from everything.
And I like the secret show, so I won't talk about it long. But I remember the last time I was there, I don't know who I gave the money to. I guess it was split, but I paid someone $20 to I think it must have been Jacques Whipper, to let somebody else whip him in the nuts.
Really?
Yeah. And I know it was.
And by nuts, what Joe means, just because we're on
he had
television,
he had a can of planters.
he had cashews,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I remember that.
No, but what struck what
Again, you only meet 5 people during.
Yeah, only 5 people.
no, but what brings me to that is it's not so much that incident, or do you remember seeing me there? No, it was that way that happened. Once I put my request in, and it was done, it was almost like I forget who else had the whip,
I think I know
It might
what you're
have been-
talking about.
and then
Was it at the stage or was it in the street?
it was in the street.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
And what it was, and I could clearly see the whip never went near him, but the crack did.
Right.
Everyone hears the crack, not sees the whip, and I love that.
There's certain things that that just doing that is actually better than really getting hit.
Yeah,
Like sometimes in the secret show, Jacques whips me. He'll whip me in the arm. He is legitimately whipping me in the arm.
yeah.
Like there's no joke about that. He's doing it. I just whatever, just do it. People think it's funny. Okay, good. But then there's some things like that where I don't think people actually expect him to get hit
Yeah.
with it, and just pantomiming along, they get the laugh of
That
it.
brings us to the kayfabe with wrestling. It
Exactly.
puts the story in.
Exactly.
You know,
It tells the
He
story.
Told the story.
Like sometimes, like Stone Cold's, curb stomp. Sometimes it didn't look so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you kind of forgave it because it was telling the story. It was further
Right.
in the. It's Stone Cold. Because I mean, come on.
No one's gonna complain there.
Exactly.
You just sold the book, by the way.
Did I?
I don't know if you saw it.
Oh. Oh, from you?
Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Now all you
I
gotta do is learn to
appreciate
read.
it.
Yay, royalties.
Yes. Well, this is going to help me learn
Learn
how to
about.
read.
Oh yeah. It's not.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I bought volume 1. I'll read volume 1, and then I'll buy volume 2.
Hooked on Ses
Well,
works
thank
for
you
you.
very much.
Now, Sess, one more time, just plug your stuff.
Okay, so we're on Facebook at Double Edged Daredevils. You can find me at Ses Carney Torture Show Comedy and Stunts. We're on Instagram, Double Edged Daredevils, or you can find me at Ses_Carney. We're very accessible. Alina is not really online. She kind of tends to like to keep her private life private.
Yeah.
So people that have asked, if you pass messages to me, I will make sure she gets them. So just so you know, got the books out, Dead End Dorchester, got a couple more books coming. We have merch coming very soon, hopefully within about the next week and a half to 2 weeks or
Play at
so.
home knives.
Huh?
Play at home knives.
I wish. No, we're looking into some T-shirts and things that
I think-
Awesome.
I think
have
usually I throw knives around people because if I throw them at people, it's a felony. I know you use that in your show too.
yeah.
That's a cool T-shirt.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even think. Yeah, might have to put that on a shirt too. Well, I never realized that people actually want stuff like that. People want merch. I used to sell merch years ago and at live shows, and sometimes it sold, sometimes it didn't. It got to the point where it was like, man, I hate lugging all this stuff
Right.
around the country.
Mhm.
If I'm only making like $50 here, or what, it's like, But now people keep asking for shirts and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, so.
Well, it's easier nowadays too with, I have these 2 shirts I have here for the show, but if you go on the website, I have 20 more.
Exactly.
Give them the card with the QR thing on it, and you look on your phone, you can order them on the way home.
But guys, thank you, Ses. Alina,
Thank
maybe
you.
next time you'll let Ses talk
He
more.
said it right.
But I appreciate you guys taking time because this is something we tried to work out last year. I don't know if you remember or not.
Yeah.
No,
Not
I
coming in,
do
but doing
remember.
it online.
Last year, things just got so hectic
Yeah.
and crazy. Once the season started, it was like,
Well, it was sort of the first real season back.
yeah, it was.
So-
And it was awesome. The people were
Yes.
great. We had a great time.
Yeah, no, that was you guys do a great show. And if anyone's at a Renaissance fair and you see Ses, you see Elena, check out their show. Like I saw it last year, and I didn't know what I was to expect going into it.
And just so you
Yeah.
know, at shows, you can come up and talk to her. She's nervous on a microphone, in front of the crowd or online or something like that. She gets a little tongue-tied. But at a show, she's very happy to talk with you.
Yeah, you guys were both out with the
Mhm.
crowd right after the show.
Oh,
talking
she
to the
loves
people.
talking to people. It's awesome.
So I appreciate
So,
you guys.
thank
taking
you
time out of
guys.
the day.
Right.
Thank you guys for watching.
All right. So, hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
See you next Tuesday.